the famous words of educator John Dewey, education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. As this vital part of our lives has become the leading path toward success, everyone has fought for their place in world-class schools for the best education out there. Likewise, countries all over the world, whether wealthy or struggling with poverty, have invested in paving the best road in the educational world for their citizens, to meet both consumer demands and create the bright minds of their country's future. This competitive atmosphere is evident in the international level, leading to healthy competition between countries and leading to the overall improvement of education in the world. However, in many countries, such as the United States, the belief in educational equality outweighs the need for competition in free markets. Tax-funded schools have monopolized education and have become more dependent on the national economy, a factor that restricts the improvement of education in the world. The construction of our future, what may be the upholder or failure of the American dream, the education monopoly.
We don't need no education. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Since 1852, the United States began establishing public schools specifically for the minority that could not afford an education. Supporters of this belief, like Horace Mann, advocated educational equality and wanted to educate every future citizen that would make important decisions about their government. Mann and other reformers on the Massachusetts Board of Education led the establishment of public schools in the area that quickly caught on among neighboring states. A small but powerful school system took control through state and federal taxes that today pay for about 93% of all public education funding. Mann's reforms became the basis of American education and schooling, as the majority of Americans became public schooled. Free public education was demanded from the middle or lower class majority that simply wanted to make ends meet. Other families who desired a better education could not pay a separate tuition fee and the taxes, and were denied of school choice, as they were forced to public schooling.
Or grandparent, child caregiver, concerned citizens should be able to take their tax dollars and put their child in the school that they think best meets their child's needs.
Deprived of their school choice, 92% of children today attend public schools, as the government regulations ultimately formed into a controlling monopoly. With only wealthy or demanding families to create any competition, the free enterprise system, an environment where private schools can compete, was revolutionized. Introducing the cell phone market, a competitive pool in which companies like Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon are all competing for more customers and are raising quality and lowering price in the process. The success of one company is the motivation for the others to do better and top the offers with lower price or better cellular connection. This atmosphere is truly the ideal free enterprise system, one where businesses can compete without government affiliation. Though education depends on many factors for success, it would have been possible for it to be a free market system, which may have worked quite well. However, the government has attracted more than 90% of all customers and has ceased competition in the market. Private schools can only compete for the 8% of the public that are more advantaged and can afford the tuitions. And even with this small percentage, more people are beginning to switch to public schools as they struggle in the tough economy. In conclusion, the monopoly has completely revolutionized the market system by eliminating competition.
My objection here is not the cost in dollars. My objection here is the potential cost in controls and eventual freedom for the American people by giving the federal government power over education.
A key difference between private and public schools that determines improvement motivation is the way each system views their students. The government does not see or treat their students as customers, but as people who deserve an education as a basic human right. Therefore, public schools will do the best they can to provide the basic standards, but do not have the motive or the funding to improve their teaching and facilities. When taxpayer money is funding public education, schools do not need to improve to gain more customers, which leaves for their only motivation, the need to please public demands. Many communities, like those surrounding LA Unified, have little demand, while communities near the Irvine Unified School District motivate their district by the desire of their residents and immigrants that have moved to the area for a better education. In an interview with elected Irvine Board of Education member Caroline McInerney, she explained about the district's motives to improve public schools in Irvine. She primarily touched on the note of immigrant willingness to move and pay the price to live in a city with a good school district.
What's the benefit? The benefit to you here in Irvine is houses cost more. Your house is worth more here. You're paying a premium because we have a good school district.
She explained that the increase in residential prices is the motivation for the district to improve its schools, as education is one of the primary reasons residents have moved there. Another factor that the government depends on for improvement is the financial state of the country. Public education in the United States as a whole is either improved or cut based on the influx of taxes, as 93% of funding comes from public revenue. This is another cause of the instability in American education. By having only the economic factor and public demand motives to rely on, public education ceases to improve as a whole, but instead changes in either wealthier areas or more determined communities in which the public emphasizes education as a priority. Due to the efforts made by reformists in providing an education to all citizens, the legislative monopolization of education revolutionized the free enterprise system, ultimately changing the quality and improvement of education in America. Beginning with reformers in 1852 demanding for educational equality and taking advantage of state laws, public schools began to attract the majority who could not pay twice for education. The small group of public schools soon monopolized education by providing for a majority of the public and ultimately revolutionized the free enterprise system. They ceased competition between schools in America and created an immutable situation in which the monopoly could not be removed nor enhanced to a great sense. Throughout the decades, education has become more important in shaping America's future. The chances of the nation's success in this field, however, have been reduced by its monopoly and its motives for improvement in education. The issue is a great example of the recurrent consequences that result from many government regulations, whether they be education, shelter, transportation, or the like. The education monopoly is a clear example of the government's failure in raising standards while attempting to create educational equality. As a result of these attempts, families were denied of their freedom of school choice, a powerful advocate for liberty. However, above all, the constricted growth and development of national education was the ultimate result of the monopoly and eventually left America behind in the international fight for quality education. The construction of our future, what may be the upholder or failure of the American dream, the education monopoly.